Let's go into the marketing of the live personal injury attorney educational sales video newsletter, sales and newsletter. So now remember, it's coming through your website. It's live, coming through your website. So really, I'm essentially selling the attorneys, pre-selling them and selling them and doing all the follow-up and continuing the sales process. Okay, so having said that, how do you want to market this? Well, remember, you should have 3 categories of marketing. You should have a list of all the attorneys in your county, number 1, that market themselves as doing personal injury. Second list is your Trial Lawyers Association list. And the third list is your attorneys that you've worked with in the past. Now, here's the bottom line when it comes to marketing. There's 3 types of marketing. There's publicity, advertising, and educational sales. The more you do have educational sales, the better it works. The more you do publicity, the least it works. Okay. The more personal the marketing, the more effective it is. Repetition. Remember, you never want to send any marketing to anybody unless you can do it 3 times. It increases the effectiveness over 50%, or don't do it at all. So now in this case, they're going to get it more than 3 times. So I'm just pointing out some of these basic concepts because here's the absolute best way. The best way is to hand this. I'm going to go through the series. Okay. I'm going to go through the absolute best way to market this to get attorneys to sign up. The absolute best way is to call the attorney, let them know you'd like to come over and if you don't know them, to introduce yourself. And then is for the doctor, I'm going to go through a hierarchy. So the first way is to show up, not a phone call, it's to show up. So call to make sure the attorney is there and that you'd like to come over and to invite them for a special presentation. That's it, okay? Do it before lunch. Right before lunch, you have the best time to actually getting there when the attorney's there. So the best scenario is 1, show up live. 2, talk to the attorney, not the paralegal or the administrator at the front. 3, introduce, and I'll hand this to them, introduce the concept, the free live streaming videos with the title and the subtitle. And then you ask them if it's okay for you to sign them up. Let me be real clear what I just said. You ask them if it's okay if you sign them up. Remember, even though they may want to sign up, they go back to their desk, you go out the front door, things happen. Their mind goes right back to all the stuff that's a priority in their day. And they could totally forget about going to that site and signing up. So the single best way to get people, these attorneys, to sign up is the doctor is better than a chiropractic assistant. Yes, because the doctor has authority. Now, the good and bad news about that is how much time does the doctor have? But I'm talking about the best method to increase the effectiveness. That's what I'm talking about first. Now, you can tier down and have a chiropractic assistant trained in what to say, and then her drop it off to an administrator. But now you're watering it down. You're decreasing the effectiveness. Everything from that point on, and you're decreasing it. You could mail it. You'll decrease the effectiveness. So I'm talking about what is the most effective to some of the least effective. And then you have to decide what you're going to do. But the most effective is the doctor dropping this, calling, letting him know he'd like to invite him to a special presentation, like to stop by and invite him, make sure he's there, show up, hand them the booklet and say, I'd like to invite you to our live streaming video series that we're doing. Say the title, subtitle, and the 7 categories, hand them the booklet, review those 7 categories, and then just ask them, hey, is it okay if I just sign you up? That's it. That's the single best way, most effective way. Okay, now let's tear it down. What's another way? Another way is to have your chiropractic assistant trained in what to say. So if you're real busy, etc., you might train your chiropractic assistant. So do the same things apply? Yeah, we'd still like to call and see if the attorney's there, because it's going to be better if she can introduce herself to the attorney and personally invite the attorney as opposed to talk to the secretary at the front desk. See? So there's all these different degrees. You've got to decide how much you're going to go after this. How strong are you going to be? Are you just going to be weak? Well, the weakest way is just to mail it. It's the weakest thing you could do is just mail it. Now, I'm not saying not to do that. I'm just, different cases bring different examples. So that's the best way. Second best way is to have a staff member go over there and introduce it and sign them up. And then follow up. Make sure you follow up. If you don't get a yes or a no, follow up. And then after that would be mailings. Now, when you do the mailings, you want to do a minimum of 3 mailings, and I would do them once a week, 3 mailings minimum. And then I would follow up however many days it takes for mail to get to somewhere. You need to figure that out, whether it's 2 or 3 days. And then I would follow up like in 70 after they've had a chance to get the mail. Then I'd follow up with a phone call and introduce yourself. Your chiropractic assistant introduce themselves and say, hey, we sent you a mail, or did you receive it, on an invitation we're doing a live streaming video series on how to stop lowball offers and win policy awards for the soft tissue spinal injury claim. Did you receive it? Yes. Okay. Is it okay if I sign you up for that? See, I'm going to ask if I can sign them up so they don't forget. And then you get their email, their name and email, to put them into. In other words, you go to the website and you put their name and email in there. Now, you can't do that. You can't spam people. So you can't just randomly do that without their permission. Matter of fact, you'll start pissing people off. So don't do that. Now, it is a double opt-in system. So when that email is put in there, their name and email is put in and hit submit, there's an email going out that's saying, hey, we see that you wanted in on our, we just want to verify that you wanted in on our live video streaming series. Just click here to verify that you did. So there is a double opt-in. It's called a double opt-in. So just because you put their name and email in there does not mean they're going to get it. They still have to okay it. And that's the way the email services are, to verify and to bypass spam. By the way, when they do that, it bypasses their spam folder. So that's very important. How many of you guys look at your spam folder? If you're like me, I don't. So that would be the next way. So the first way is the doctor signing them up personally. Second way is staff member personally introducing it and signing them up. And then the third way would be to mail it with a follow-up phone call with multiple mailings and multiple phone calls. That's the way to